Have you ever wondered why sometimes the righteous suffer while the wicked prosper? The book of Malachi, the last book of the Old Testament, presents us with a similar question. In the spring and autumn period, there was a story about a tyrant, Duke Ling of Jin. Despite his advisor Shi urging him to change his ways, the Duke failed to keep his word and was eventually assassinated. This story left us with the famous quote, "Who among us is perfect? To err and then change is the biggest virtue." But how can one change if they are not aware of their mistakes? In the book of Malachi, God said to the Israelites, "Ever since the time of your ancestors, you have turned away from my decrees and have not kept them. Return to me, and I will return to you." God continued to reprove, saying, "Will a man rob God? Yet you are robbing me." But you ask, how are we robbing you? In tithes and offerings, you are under a curse, your whole nation, because you are robbing me. The Israelites responded with a series of questions, feigning ignorance. God laid out the facts, pointing out their wrongdoings such as sorcery, adultery, false swearing, defrauding laborers, oppressing widows and orphans, perverting justice for foreigners, and neglecting tithes. It wasn't that the Israelites were oblivious to their sins. Rather, they didn't see God promptly rewarding the good and punishing the evil. They argued, "It is futile to serve God. What do we gain by carrying out his requirements and going about like mourners before the Lord Almighty?" Here, the Israelites had a skewed understanding of good and evil. They believed that by observing religious rituals and fasting, they were doing good and deserved God's rewards. This is a common misconception amongst many religious zealots. So what does God value? The Bible tells us, "He has shown you, O mortal, what is good." And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God. True religion in the eyes of God our Father means caring for orphans and widows in their distress and refusing to let the world corrupt you. Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil. Cling to what is good. As for the timing of rewarding the good and punishing the evil, Ecclesiastes tells us, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot." We may not understand God's timing from beginning to end, but he makes everything beautiful in its time.